And we're back. Alright, where was I when the incident?
Hold it!
And how would you describe the incident exactly? Excuse you. Sir. You're adoring public, you're not even in your own home. You weird politicians.
Hold it!
When they stepped in to protect you, were you aware of the fact that you were being targeted? So aware of the— No, I was aware of my audience, nothing else. I'm a true performer. He remembers every second. When Rook and Knight stepped in, I was shocked, overwhelmed, taken aback. And bang, a shot rang out. And a plain unblemished balloon of red exploded nearby. Okay, well.
Objection!
You can tell you're right when the music drops out. Does the finger wiggle? Good. You say it was a plain red balloon that burst, but I strongly beg to differ. Take a look at this. I think you'd agree that it's hardly plain, wouldn't you? Why do you look like you're gonna puke? Please don't puke on me, sir. I don't want presidential puke. Oh no, you've insulted the Edgeworth! Meet the Steel Samurai. I would have hoped you might recognize him. How could you not know my favorite children's show? It's super important to me that everybody loves the Steel Samurai. I'm Edgeworth, and I love Steel Samurai. I mean, of course, I don't watch children's television. That would be insane. Especially if you were hoping to ingratiate yourself with the people of this country. No, no one needs to watch Jamming Ninja, K. So you see, the balloon was struck by the bullet. Was anything but plain. It was, in fact, of the Steel Samurai. But the briefing mentioned 2 plain red balloons. There they are, right on the security plan. The Steel Samurai balloon was borrowed at the last minute. Borrowed? They only reported the incident to us bodyguards, though. Seems there was a little trouble here on site last night. One of the original balloons burst somehow. I guess so. Was that stall holder Larry? Yeah, it was Larry. A happy-go-lucky stall holder with a Steel Samurai balloon to spare. So, they just put his ass in the air, is what you're telling me. So while it was a Steel Samurai balloon, it was made to look like a plain red one above the water. Is that the long and short of it? Why would you care about a balloon? Yeah, I don't think it's a pressing issue either. And indeed, you saw it and knew no difference, correct? Could he really have mistaken the Steel Samurai's pants for a plain red balloon? Still, Mr. President, I struggle to see how you wouldn't have noticed something different about the balloon. What's that outburst for? You couldn't see it? Is that so? There would have been strong wind blowing right around the time of the incident. Strong enough to blow the flags in just such a fashion. Does that conflict with... Thank you, Mr. President. Your testimony has revealed yet another contradiction. It sure has, buddy. Yes, a contradiction that could turn this entire case on its head. When I arrived on the scene, the winds had died down and the flags were resting calmly for the most part. But if the wind had previously been blowing the flags as the President describes, a certain piece of evidence takes on a very different meaning.
Take that!
Earlier we deduced the bullet that struck the Steel Samurai balloon and the bullet that passed through the flag were one and the same. From these two things we further deduced that the trajectory of the bullet must have taken. And we concluded that our shooter must have fired from the left side of the spectator area. But if the flags were blowing as the President describes, our conclusion becomes quite different. Exactly, our trajectory changes completely. And if we trace that trajectory back to its source, we can ascertain who really fired that shot. Yes, I know, we may not yet understand the reason why, but it can only have been one person who did it. And to be real,
Take that!
following the path of the bullet back to its point of origin leads us to this person here. Oh. Apparently I was wrong. I guess it's just nightly. Or night.
Take that!
The person who fired that shot was none other than you, Mr. Knight. He surely is. Sorry, sir. Should be sorry. I mean, we have this, but I don't see the flag. Or the bullet. Nobody look at the back of Shelly's fucking card yet.
Take that!
Yeah, proof is in this picture right here. Which picture where? Ah. Oh, it's this one. I'm an idiot. Flag's right there.
Take that!
Well, do you deny that it clearly shows the flag? And there we have it, proof that it was flowing towards you at the moment of the shooting. Mr. Knight. I don't think he is the assassin. Mr. Knight is not the assassin. He may have shot the balloon, but the president was on the other side of him entirely. Okay, good. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. The game isn't... It hasn't decided. Logic does not apply. It does sometimes decide that. Therefore, he can't have been aiming at his boss. What would be the point? There was a point, I'm sure of it. If I can figure out what it was, perhaps I can finally put this whole conundrum to rest. That's why his hand's behind the thing. He's got the gun in it. That fact alone changes everything about the case. Alright. Why did Knight's assigned position change? But is that the only reason? Let us suppose that the plan hadn't changed and that Knight remained positioned on the left. Given that he was unable to turn his head to the right, would he even have been able to shoot the balloon closest to him? Could it be that his security plan was changed for the express purpose of popping one of the balloons? And if we suppose that to be the case, the two plans are different. Was the security detail reorganized at some point? That's right, the president was the one who ordered the change. These are our last two pieces of logic, so they must fit together? There we go. If I'm reading things right, the president knew in advance about the balloon shooting. Which means he must have had foreknowledge he would be in someone's crosshairs today as well. And if that's true, then everything else that's been bothering me falls neatly into place. Please explain, Edgeworth. I'm very tired. How did the shooter get a gun past such heavy security? And why would they then carry out the shooting wearing such a conspicuous item of clothing? Why use a laser sight that would give away their location in an instant? And how did the president suffer no injuries at all despite a direct hit to his vest? These are the questions that Knight and the president don't want us to consider. There's only one possible reason for Mr. Knight to have fired his gun. To create the illusion of an assassination attempt. Idiot. I do understand what I'm saying, and you're the idiot. Oh, I understand all too well. I understand everything now. Most of all, I understand why you were so keen to take this investigation off my hands, Mr. President. You wanted your real plans to remain hidden. Oh, it's no joke, I assure you. It is simply the truth, as revealed by the careful application of logic and reasoning, nothing more. The first shot was fired by Mr. Knight with the specific intention of hitting that balloon. The sound of gunfire and the bursting of the balloon were guaranteed to cause a panic. And then he fired again. Yes, he fired 2 bullets, both of which were aimed at the balloon. As for why he did so, it's because the second shot was designed to create the impression that the president had been hit. I'm willing to bet that bullet was planted there long before the shooting ever occurred. Please don't puke. Please don't puke on me. I don't appreciate this. We'll be able to verify that for ourselves once we take a closer look at the bullet. At the very least, we can expect to find traces of Mr. Rook's blood on it, correct? Don't puke. Be gross. On the shooter in the photograph, the person with the red hood. I thought I made myself clear. The trajectory points to only one possible shooter, Mr. Knight. She was simply one part of their plan. In order to place suspicions elsewhere, they set about creating a fake assassination. The highly suspicious person with the red hood. I have yet to ascertain exactly how complicit Miss Lloyd is with the whole scheme, but I can say with some confidence that none of the shots were fired by her. I suspect her only job was to point the laser sight at the president. Tasked with turning your jacket inside out the moment the crowd flew into a panic, yes. Thus making the mysterious red-hooded shooter disappear in the blink of an eye. Then, when the gun and the security plan were later found in the trash can, it would have all appeared to have been the work of an assassin so skilled they could vanish into thin air. Exactly. What our friends here were hoping for. Yes. Indeed, because the entire affair was a cheap ruse perpetrated by the president himself. Where are the rest of my eyebrows, please? Oh no, he's deflating. Sir? Sir, your titties. Sir. Oh. Oh, they're back with a vengeance. You look like a pug dog. The presidential mask has well and truly slipped. Admit it, the entire assassination was a lie, wasn't it? Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, poor baby.
Objection!
Who the fuck is— oh, that was Knightley. It's like, whose voice clip is that shit? Scared the crap out of me.
Welcome, Raiders.
Hi Zephyr, how was your game? What were you playing? They listed a blank stram. A blank stram? What's a blank stram? D&D was chaotic. How chaotic. Also, welcome in everybody. We're playing Prosecutor's Path 2, or Ace Attorney Investigations 2, whatever you want to call it. I get to be Edgeworth. I really like Edgeworth. Goblins with 3 bombs per turn, chaotic? Oh no! Your DM was, very excitable today, it seems like. We have just uncovered that this guy, the president of, president of someplace else, Zhengfa, thank you. Zhengfa, concocted a ruse about his own assassination so that he could kill one of his bodyguards. Sorry, but I'm speaking with the president right now. This is Knight, this is one of his other bodyguards. And you can see the dead guy over here, that's Rook. He's the second body, he was the first bodyguard. Now he's dead, and now we have to put up with this idiot. He also thinks he's a badass. He's an idiot. I do love Edgeworth using Maximum Karen as a weapon. He's a little bit of a Karen sometimes. He's more of a Karen in the first one when he's on the fucking, he's on the plane, Investigations 1. He's on the plane. He is such a Karen to this poor woman who's just trying to do her job that she apologizes repeatedly and helps him solve a murder. Perhaps it would be better if we stuck to threatening each other with words. What? Please don't pull out another weapon you want to shut me up with, sir. I get enough of that already. I do claim that, yes. An excellent point. Time for my counter move, I suppose. You're certain something that allowed you to conceal your actions. Where's the attaché case? Here it is.
Take that!
Yes, your attaché case. Yes, take a look at Kay's photograph. This is your gun hand. Your right hand is completely obscured by the case. At the very moment this picture was taken, you were firing your gun. In front of everyone, that's disgusting. And in such a way that you wouldn't be detected.
Objection!
What haven't I noticed? Oh, I could probably find that. I have a whole police force at my discretion. Yes, if I have to. I hate to say it, but he's right. I don't have anything concrete. I would appreciate you not pointing that 6-shooter directly at my heart. Miss Lloyd. I keep forgetting that's her new name. So, I definitely never played this before because that would have been illegal, but there is a fan translation of this game. And a bunch of the names are different. So if you hear me calling people by the wrong name, it's definitely not because I played the fan translation illegally. Technically legally, because I have so many. Okay, I really, 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 really like Ace Attorney, and I have every version of this game that I could get my hands on, that I have a thing to play it on. In case you were wondering. I actually bought 2 copies of this game. This is the Steam version. I have the one for my Switch too. You know, just in case I want to play it somewhere else. I just really like Ace Attorney. And also, if I keep spending all of my money that I don't really have on video games, maybe they'll make me more video games I can spend all of my money that I don't really have on video games. And play more Ace Attorney. Anyways, her name is Tabby Lloyd. She's a reporter, as you may have guessed from the name. Of course, she could shed some light on this whole situation. I just need to get her to talk. Put the gun down, you psycho. Miss Lloyd. So, I need you to be brave. If you don't speak up, the truth will be lost forever. You are a journalist after all, are you not? Would you forget, real journalists don't lie. You finally figured that out. It only took you almost going to jail for murder. You should have showed me that a long time ago, indeed. What is it? I was trying to get a cat to attack his face. He sure did. Just starts yapping, huh? And you fell for it. What about the gun in the trash can? Plus he told me to wear a jacket with a red hood and point that there pointer at the president. I never thought for a minute it'd blow up in my face like that. You should be. Thank you, Miss Lloyd. I'd like you to testify to that effect when this goes to trial. It ought to go a long way towards proving that the assassination was a sham. My sympathies, Mr. Knight. Had you successfully removed me from this case, as you'd intended, perhaps then you could have kept your little pawn quiet, hmm? You... Okay. You just shot yourself in the face, but you're fine? Okay, good. You said no such thing, huh? So, Mr. President, you admit it. You admit that there was a plot to fake an assassination attempt. Are you sorry? You don't look sorry. You look like you're made of Play-Doh. And the bullet in the vest. A prop used in the staged assassination attempt. The flattened bullet was also planted ahead of time. What was up with the killer? Did it now? Hence the red raincoat, I suppose. He'd hoped to get in close enough as the fake assassin to finish the job. What would that be? Oh, I don't know. Why don't you ask Knightley? I mean, Knight. I definitely haven't mixed up his name with the fan translation name. The whole thing was fake. How did he wind up getting killed for real? That's true, and therein lies the real question. Everyone stares at Blondie. What did you do? Sounds like he was as trustworthy to the president as I am to you, Hosser. I believe that's for me to say, Detective, not you. Mr. Rook must have known about the plan too, then, correct? Tried to involve him, but he refused. And you would have done well to listen to him. Yeah. What's gotten into him? I wonder who did it. What do you guys think? Motive means an opportunity. Let's go. Imprudent. It's quite a statement, especially considering that your perfect plan was an abject failure. And how exactly was it Mr. Brooks' fault? I'm sure that's just what he always wanted. Oh, Knightley, you fucking sociopath. But did he die protecting the president? Question. It was fake. Two shots were fired. Oh, really? Then who did fire it? His plan was to kill him after the president with a knife. He did have a knife. He's cowering quietly in the corner. Oh, he's blaming her? Okay. Ain't you danged assassin? Lucy. Nightly. Such a bitch. As soon as I shot that balloon, I rushed over to help Rook escort the president back onto the plane. I left Rook here in this room while I secured the president in the safe room. When I came back out, Rook was lying on the ground. Miss Journalist must have shot Rook while we were escorting the president off stage. A single killer shot was fired by the gun you found in the trash can. So you don't actually know when the victim was struck by the bullet, do you? The night doesn't protect the Rook. Alright, chill the fuck out. He means that his only concern was protecting the president. But a win in which a key piece is sacrificed is a hollow victory indeed. I kept the president safe. I win. Okay, Knightley. Well, it's a bit early to be calling it a little match in any case, but this is where our battle really begins. Do we get to do brain chess? No, we have to do rebuttal. Rebuttal isn't as fun. As soon as I shot that balloon, I rushed over to help Rook escort the president back onto the plane. Press.
Hold it!
The victim really didn't take part in your little plan then, did he? Nope, and we kept him in the dark on the details. So he really thought the president was in danger. Maybe he did. Guess we'll never know. Even if he did know it was a sham, he still had a job to do. He still had to protect his king. And he was able to make a judgment like that in a split second. Impressive. He really was capable, as they say. Not so capable that I couldn't read him like a book. I made it so we had no choice but to go along with our little performance. Left Rook here in this room.
Hold it!
Why did you do that? You and the president both knew the whole thing wasn't real. It had to seem real, there were people everywhere. Not a good look, right? Imagine if someone had spotted a man who'd just been shot at, hanging out in his plane sipping grape juice like he didn't have a care in the world. And what was the victim doing during all of this? Who knows? I was in the safe room, like I said. Anyway. When I came back out, Rook was lying there on the ground.
Hold it!
Where on the ground exactly? Right where he is now, in the middle of the floor. The door to the outside was shut, though. Guess the bullet must have hit him right before he closed it. And thanks to his little blunder, my whole plan fell apart. I'd call that dereliction of duty. What would you call it? An honorable try, which is more than what you'd give, I'd say. Sorry, but that's just how it is. Miss Journalist must have shot Rook while we were escorting the president off stage. Weren't you and Mr. Rook both carrying bulletproof attaché cases? Yeah, I opened them right after Rook spotted the laser on sight. We moved to the covering position and used them to shield the president. The bullet that hit Mr. Rook traveled through a gap in that defensive. Do you really believe Miss Lloyd to be that skilled of a marksperson? No, she was aiming for the president. That makes her a lousy shot. So it was pure coincidence that Mr. Rook was hit. And the bullet simply happened to find its way past your attaché cases and through a gap in his vest. It was a shot in a million, but the shooter hit the bullseye, and the proof is in your hands. So the second shot had nothing to do with you? Right, that one was fired by your little friend. Imagine the scoop she'd have bagged if she'd hit its mark. I'm a journalist, you hear? I don't make facts, I report them. Yeah, a journalist who signed up to fake an assassination plan in the hopes of getting a story. He's got a point. That's not... Look, I'll admit it, I set the whole thing up. And your role was to aim that laser pointer at the president. It's not my fault that wasn't enough for you. You were the one who decided to bring a gun to the party. Who knows, maybe you thought if you kept on shooting you could shut me up too. So Mr. Nutt's suggesting that he first fired one shot and then Miss Lloyd fired one more. You can't prove any of it. Some cold, hard, undeniable evidence. I think the gun is missing 2 bullets. Yeah.
Objection!
Yep. Tisk tisk. So you contend that it was you who shot the balloon and Miss Lloyd who shot Mr. Rook? Are you sure about that? Well, what you've proposed would indeed match up with the total number of shots heard. The gun from the trash can itself has also been fired twice. Now, why would the supposed number of shots heard from this gun differ from the number of spent rounds? It's simple, because it was planted. Planted by the real perpetrator of the crime. Yes, and if you think about it, the reason for doing so is obvious. To ensure that whoever found the gun would conclude that the shooter had been in the spectator area. And in order to do that, they had to make it seem as if both shots had come from this one weapon. Precisely, as we have already proven, the bullet that bursts the balloon came from a different weapon, which makes it entirely possible that the bullet which killed Mr. Rook didn't come from this gun either. Oh, I intend to, don't worry.
Take that!
You, Mr. Knight, you're the one who murdered Mr. Rook. Yes. It wasn't only the killer who tried to take advantage of this fake murder plot. You killed Mr. Rook hoping that it would look like an accidental victim of this bungled assassination. With the president locked away in the safe room and the door of the airplane tightly closed, it was just you and Mr. Rook, alone, together. And that's when the third bullet was fired, right into your colleague's body.
Objection!
Why does he sound like a surfer, dude? You just said only 2 gunshots were heard? Wanna tell me how that works?
Objection!
Airplane cabins are practically soundproof, Mr. Knight, if you close the door. Nothing can be heard from the outside, not even gunfire. Very true, which means he may have heard the shot himself. Well, Mr. President? You didn't hear anything. But you can observe this room through your security feed, can you not? What's gotten into him? Mr. President, this is vitally important. You were hiding under the bed covering your ears. Okay. He looks like a sad lion. What has happened to this man? Oof. I bet you're sadder than a pot of overcooked crawfish. Mr. Knight, you saw that President Wang was cowering beneath the bed. And what's more, you knew from the monitor bank that the security camera for this room hadn't been switched on. Which means you knew that the circumstances were perfect for you to fire the third shot straight at Mr. Rook. Ah, such a twat. They sound like a couple arguing in the mall. I want to believe you, but I just saw you with Cindy. I don't get it. I don't get it. What is there to doubt here? No, because this gun isn't a murder weapon. We know from the number of bullets fired. He has a point. How do we not know that? What? But I counted. I used math. How dare you? Not with any certainty, no. That ain't me. Conclusive proof. If only I could prove that Knight's gun is the murder weapon. Wait, perhaps I can. We had the bullet that passed through Mr. Rook. Forensics could tell us which gun it was fired from. Okay, so no conversation. Hold it right there. I'm going to get proof. Of course I do. Very well, my conclusive evidence is not in my possession. Not currently in my possession. However, it is here in this room. Stop shooting yourself in the face, or at least stop missing shooting yourself in the face. As we know, the bullet that killed Mr. Rook passed through his body. But where did it end its journey? Perhaps we should cast our minds back to an earlier conversation. Lodged in the vest. But now, of course, we know this so-called assassination attempt was a complete fabrication. The vest was read in advance, made to look as if it had been hit by a bullet. Which begs the question, where's the real bullet?
Take that!
Something very clearly missing from this room. Yes, a prosecutor with some common sense. Take a look at the bank of security monitor. I see you've caught on, Mr. President. Splendid. There are screens here showing views from all around this airplane, inside and out. The only external angle not covered is the right-hand side of the aircraft. And that's because one of the monitors is missing. There was a monitor in that space previously, wasn't there, Mr. President? Oh, he said plushy. It appears to be someone's vain attempt to hide what is obviously lacking. But where did it go, and why? The why is easy enough to answer because it was struck by a bullet. For if we were to believe that the bullet in the vest was the real deal, then anything that hinted at the existence of another bullet had to be removed. Where indeed, I believe that it must be hidden somewhere on this plane. After all, there wouldn't have been time to dispose of it outside the aircraft. Detective Gumshoe, conduct a search if you would. President, extraterritoriality, remember? I have no objections. Alright, cool, let's go. Rook this, rook that. Don't you ever think about anybody else? You're such a jealous little boy. The search has been authorized, Detective, if you wouldn't mind. Where was it? Excellent work. Now go ahead and extract the bullet. Caught it. Alright, cool. Should we have let forensics do that? Well, would you look at that? Blood. This is the bullet that killed Mr. Rook. There's no doubt about it. And there you have it, Mr. Knight. Single piece of evidence you requested. Straight through your heart. Even you must now admit, if this bullet didn't come from the spectator area gun, then Miss Lloyd cannot be Mr. Rook's killer. That was a weird way to phrase that, right? Not just me? What? No pithy comeback. Detective, have forensics analyze this bullet for striations and compare them to the gun we found. Oh boy. Fetch. Our findings are as follows, sir. Is indeed that of the victim. Cool. Proving that it was the bullet that killed Mr. Mr. Knight's fingerprints on the gun. Probably from when I handed all the evidence over to him. The striation. They're not a match, the Miss Lloyd is in the chair. A match with this weapon? What? What? But how could that be? Ow. Stop pointing your gun at my detective. I know there's nothing in his head, but if you could put less holes in it, I would appreciate it. Misread the board. How dare you? I have to do another rebuttal? Alright. No denying it, forensics prove that the gun and the bullet are a match. The bullet that killed Rook was fired from the gun you found in the spectator area. So, who pulled the trigger? It can't have been me, I was up on stage, which leaves your little friend. The hack killed Rook, she's the murderer, and you just proved it. You move, Edgeworth, but just remember two things. One, where you found that gun. And two, which gun the fatal bullet came from. Whichever way you look at it, can't have been the shooter. Oh, he switched them! Right. He switched them when I gave him the evidence. How did it come to this? I forgot that we handed over all of our shit. Me and the president, we attempted to fake the assassination attempt. That's not your voice. No one cares about your voice, Knightley. Now it's your turn to admit something. Who the killer really is. Must be something further we can deduce from them. Let's go. We're back to Phoenix style shit where we just press everything.
Hold it!
No, that's...
Objection!
I assume Miss Lloyd to be innocent, and the gun and the bullet shouldn't have been a match. What is it, Kay? You're asking me to call the evidence into question? You seem very sure about this. Great thief's intuition. Intuition. Still, she could be right. Simply don't believe Miss Lloyd to be a malicious liar, which means, as someone who believes that evidence is everything in court, the irony is not lost on me, but if I were to call a piece of evidence into question, it would have to be done. After all, we only just recovered the bullet. Furthermore, we know that Mr. Knight had an opportunity to handle the gun. Yeah, okay. This can't really be the end of the line, can it? Indeed, he had ample opportunity. There's no doubt that this gun is the weapon that was used in the crime. Which means it must belong to Knightley.
Take that!
The gun belongs to Mr. Knight. He switched them around. That has to be it. This is not how you do things, but okay. Welcome back from adverts. We figured out that he switched the gun, which is the thing that I said a while ago.
Hold it! Objection!
Of a man in dire straits, yes, well spotted, you. There are people who say that Edgeworth shouldn't have an English accent. They write him like he has an English accent. I know he's from California. But, like, he says shit like, well spotted. Well spotted, you. Like... I can't... imagine that in a surfer accent, it's not gonna work. Well spotted, you. Yeah.
Hold it!
Yes, who indeed. know at what point I'm supposed to present this fucking gun.
Objection!
From when I confiscated the evidence properly. Anyway, say it wasn't Miss Journalist, who was it? Because it can't have been me. Ugh. I'm gonna press this too, it's fine. That's not what I proved at all. I proved you're a bitch. I proved you're a lying little shit bitch. But so what? You're forgetting that you're here to do one thing and one thing only. And you think ruining your country's relationship with Zheng Fa is going to do that? No, your job is to solve an attempted assassination, nothing else. I'll decide what my job is, thank you very much, and you don't get to tell me what to do. You're not my dad. Never, you're the guilty one here, and there's no doubt about it. Markings on the bullet. But if Mr. Knight would have tampered with the gun somehow, he could have only... It's not a moment. I guess we just present the gun here, I guess?
Objection!
Yes. Admit it, you switched the guns, didn't you, Mr. Knight? That's why the markings match the weapon in question. It was yours all along. You must have made the switch when I handed over the evidence. Well, I was busy trying to make the case for remaining on the investigation. You took the laser sight from the gun we found in the trash can and put it on your own. Then, not long afterwards, you handed that gun back to me instead of the one we found. Is that so strange? You're a chess player, after all. A man well used to thinking several moves ahead. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. The gun is the same model as mine. Weird, sure, but it's just a coincidence. And look, there's a laser sight attached. Also, take a look in the cylinder, 2 spent bullets, just what we'd expect to see. So what proof do you have that I switched the original gun out? None. That's what. You say I'm overestimating your abilities. You surprise me. Everywhere except the chessboard, that is. Okay. I don't see a chessboard here, do you? Shame. I don't think I'll be the one making excuses, rather. I didn't mess up, they just got lucky with the evidence, will be your excuse, I imagined. Alright. Don't care about that.
Hold it!
Put up or shut up. Well, that is... My daddy's dead. Like you'll be, next case. I mean... I'm sure you're fine. I'm sure everything's gonna be fine. You're not guilty. Nothing bad happened. I've been meaning to ask, actually. How about your own weapon? How many spent bullets are in its cylinder? I let loose a few rounds earlier, as you saw, yeah. He reloads his gun every time he fires it. Of course, in order to swap the guns properly, you'd have to maintain the right number of bullets per gun. You didn't have the chance to put on any gloves though, which means...
Hold it!
I need forensics.
Objection!
We won't be given the chance to investigate any further. I'll have to work with what we've gathered. Think, Miles, think. Consider all the possibilities. Otherwise, the situations shouldn't line up like they do, right, sir? Right, we must carefully consider and improve. Okay. Maybe, 2 spent bullets in the sun. Why can't I flip this? Can I press this? I don't remember if I pressed. Coincidence, you say? Is it a necessity? It can't be both, pal. Sure it can. Why is that? Probably something to do with its ease of use. No spent casings to chase down, for example. Yeah, we definitely pressed that one.
Hold it!
I have a chance to put on any gloves though. I'm just gonna present the gun again, I guess.
Objection!
Oh, that worked. Okay. I have your proof. Right here. Not the gun itself, the evidence it carries. Evidence that will prove once and for all that it does in fact belong to you. The evidence the gun provides takes the form of fingerprints. Fingerprints, namely your
Objection.
fingerprints, Mr. Knight. Fuck's sake.
Objection!
What if I told you there are prints on a part of the gun you shouldn't have touched at any point? Oh, but I can. There's a place where your fingerprints could never have been left if things happened as you say. Allow me to present the final piece of evidence. It will bring our game to its rightful close. Here, look closely at the cylinder, Detective. 2 bullets fired. There. Please look at the bullets. You did indeed switch the guns when I handed you the evidence. But if that were all you had done, your deception would have been easily detected because the number of bullets fired by each gun was different. We know that he fired 2 bullets from the stage into the balloon. And he fired another bullet into Mr. Rook, ending his life. So 3 bullets in total, plus the few odd ones he let loose in shock during our little game. After each shot, he reloaded his gun out of habit. With his bare hands, of course. Officer, where exactly were Mr. Knight's fingerprints found? The one you mentioned earlier? So they were found on the exterior of the weapon, but also on the bullets themselves. Thank you, forensics. I'm not sure they could have gotten there just from me handing you the evidence, Mr. Knight. You keep missing. And there we have it. Proof that you did indeed switch the guns. This gun, the one which fired the bullet that killed Mr. Rook, is yours. And in taking his life, you're the true assassin. Checkmate. Go make little L's with your little horsey feetsies. Let's go. You got hit by the blue badger! And the iFlight, well, it's the Yugo. The Yugo one. They did change in the first game, even though it wasn't a fan translation, they changed the name of the flight from iFly to Yugo. I'm kind of annoyed by it, because now I have to remember that it's different. You were gonna be the new chief of security, huh? Yep. Okay. Yeah, sure. Detective Gumshoe. You would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for that meddling prosecutor. Right away, sir. Alright, cool, Gumshoe. Get him. Sick him. Game isn't over yet. You gonna cry about it? I'm afraid this is as far as we go for today. The next moves we play will be in the courtroom. Goodbye, sir. He's suddenly very presidential again now that we're back outside the plane. You want me to handle it, not Rook? Rook refused, but I can rely on you, can't I? Of course, sir. You can count on me. Put together a plan that can't possibly fail. And he'll play his part like the pawn he is. That hatred in his eyes was plain to see. He despised poor Rook. I was not entirely comfortable about moving forward with Knight in charge of our little deception. Looking back, I think he sensed my discomfort. I can't help thinking I played a part in his decision to end Rook's life. Mr. President, none of this would have happened if you hadn't plotted to fake an attempt on your life. That was your crime, and it is a crime you will have to live with. You're right, I can only apologize for the part I played. And I will no doubt be made to pay for my actions in one way or another. But I thank you, nonetheless. You solved the riddle of Rook's demise, and for that I shall be eternally grateful. I will be here in your country for a little while longer yet. How unfortunate for us. But when I have returned home, perhaps you will visit us in Zhengfa. You will always be welcome. I don't think I want to hang out there. It doesn't sound like a fun place for me in particular to be. There's a lot of people in your country who hate my guts. Yeah, you should be. I just got you off of murder charges. Here's the Go You logo. This should be iFly. All's well that ends well. Miss Lloyd, the accusations of murder made against you was of course entirely groundless. But the fact remains that you were a willing participant in the staged assassination attempt. The police will no doubt wish to speak to you about the matter. You should be aware that you may well be punished for your actions. Awfully sorry about everything, truly I am. I understand you're just sorry for a scoop, but there are limits. There sure are. It got me some serious thinking to do. We did do it. Local prosecutor solves assassination conundrum, earns eternal gratitude of president. How's that for a headline? Awfully long, Kay. Hey, that there's my department. Mr. Prosecutor, how does it feel to solve such an important case? You must be over the moon. She certainly doesn't stay down for long. No comment. Dang, you're one tight-lipped son of a gun. Well, as well I should be. This case is not over yet. It isn't? How come, sir? Because until we unravel the story behind this, the case will never be completely over. Boop, 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 boop. What are we missing? What didn't we solve? I guess Shelly?
Take that!
Yeah. Mr. DeKiller has yet to complete his assignment. I hope I'm wrong, but if I'm not, this could all blow up into something more sinister yet. As one would expect with the attempted assassination of the president, the case was all over the news. And my preparations for Mr. Knight's trial were constantly interrupted by requests from the press. There wasn't a person in the land who didn't know about the case. Everybody was talking about it. But in the midst of the frenzy that followed, nobody noticed this was only the first move in a game far bigger than any of us could have imagined.